live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food reminds you love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, traders from around the world? How's everyone doing on this majestic Wednesday? It is Wednesday. January is over. The month is behind us. We ended positive for the 13th month in a row on the S&P, which makes this the strongest bull market the S&P has ever seen for the second month in a row. Carrie says hi from Richland, Washington. What's up, Carrie? Lisa says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Lisa? Dan's here. Santosh made 1.2 hours on NVIDIA today. Good job, buddy. DJ, hope you're doing fantastic, man. Luke says, hi, Jeremy. What's up, bud? It's getting nighttime over there for you. Sandra, me and you tomorrow, Sandra. I'm pumped. Lisa said, is that a wicked pair on the SPY? Very good question. Kind of, sort of, yes. Again, the names, right, they're not super important. We can call it whatever we want. It's almost, right, so to get a perfect one, you'd want this candle, the low of this candle, to be within the low of this candle. But it's so close that, yes, if we do get this break, so this was the setup from yesterday. I said, hey, counter trend, be fast, right, be very, very fast. So I could kind of lower that again. So anyone who's very fast trader, that they can look for maybe some type of move down into there. But I'm still okay with the bullish pop if we get one. Really what would be the most likely is that we just trade sideways from the 2 or 3 days, the moving averages catch up, and then we continue higher. I still think, and I'm very confident, the markets will go up. Here's the weekly chart. And again, you get a little bit of a bearish candle on the weekly. So yes, we are quite extended up here on the SPY. If we get a good gap down or a good bearish move tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, the 20 EMA is pretty much my target. So I don't necessarily expect a massive sell-off or anything like that. I think everything is fine. Had a lot of people wigging out about yesterday's candle. Got a lot of text messages from people just scared that the market was it. This was it. This is the all-time high, and this is all over from here. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to be that afraid. So I think it's all good. So anyway, the SPY doing its thing, hanging out. That's pretty much what we got. Here's the Qs. Now the Qs are down a little bit right now because of the Facebook earnings. We're going to be talking about Facebook some today. Sybil says she bought some more shares of the SPY today. Nice, Sybil. Very nice. I like it. So, for Facebook being down about 6-ish% right now, it's dragging down the Qs about 0.5%. We will see how it opens, but we did make a little bit of a higher high and a higher low in the Q, so I'm kind of anticipating, again, that potentially goes a little bit higher. The IWM didn't do anything really exciting today. Again, just slightly bearish. We'll get to the target at some point. The next pullback, if we get into here, my thought's going to be on the IWM. For my credit spread fans, I'll probably look to do another bull put spread on the IWM. This is the only index that's not just ostentatiously high, and there's a little bit of premium out there because the VIX is slowly picking up. So I think there's going to be a good chance we can get into some bull put spread money on the IWM. We'll look at it more if it pulls back. I would love it to be lower, as low as possible, obviously, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on what that does. And then last but not least, here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Actually closed up on the day. Seems like we're only going to get 1 day of a pullback, and that's going to be pretty much about it. Dan, email me. I know you emailed me earlier. Email me again. I'll send you some links for that. So today is Energy Wednesday. Here's the XLE. XLE. There we go. And here's the XLE. So we had a little bit of a pullback. We did get closer and closer to a resistance. We actually traded to that resistance. I know Brian Shepard, at one point you mentioned that you're looking at doing a bear call spread. So if you did that bear call spread when we hit this resistance, congratulations. You probably were able to lock in a little bit more premium. And Ash, I don't know if you got a chance. I know you're in a March bull put spread, which should be fine at this point. But if you got a chance to maybe hop into a bear call spread up here at that resistance to create that iron condor. Other than that, I mean, the XLE and the energies, we're just pulling back a little bit, right? So here's the daily chart. We'll go back to the daily. And you got a little bit of a gap yesterday, kind of a lower shadow today. Here's the exponential moving averages. I'm trying to see if there's any actual trade that we could place. I don't think there is. I think we're going to wait. In fact, I'm just going to draw a second line on the XLE. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to make that blue. And could we come all the way back down to this 66 level? Sure, it's possible. Will that happen? Probably not. But if it does, I think we can all take advantage of that. Here's the long terms. And at this point, I think that XLE could easily trade down to 73.53, which is the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart. And then probably get a little bit of bouncing. So I think that's okay. And then again, here's the monthly. In the monthly chart, you have the 100 simple average on the monthly at 71.98. So this is a new monthly candle. Next week, it'll update a little bit, but you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a row of updates. So we'll probably have a slight pullback on energies next month is my guess, or at least a rest of some kind, and then probably potentially higher from there. So that's my broad market overview. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints? I will say if you want to make your way over to Slack and post how you've done for January so far, I got to give a shout out to some traders. I got to give some love. It's love time. So I was mentioning earlier that I forget exactly where I posted. I think I posted it up here somewhere. Give me a second. There was a lot of chats today. Okay, so I mentioned that January is about to close. I did realize, took a realized gain. I'm sorry, I should say loss. I apologize. I don't know why I wrote gain. Realized loss. There we go. Realized loss on CenturyLink. So I got out of CenturyLink today for a loss. I mentioned that if you were on the verge of break even, you could take MYO, Micron, and Texas Instruments profits off the table to lock in a profitable month, if that was the case. At least it says you're programmed to think gain. Yes, I am. It's kind of weird. But so I did lose on CenturyLink. We'll talk about that today. We did get out of CenturyLink. Even if you lost a full R on it, hey, it's okay. Losses happen. No big deal. Just keep them as small as you can, all right? So I asked a few other people, hey, what's next? How'd you do? And I just got to give some love. Let's see. Time for some love. So my buddy Camilo said made 1.42 hours since Friday. Camilo, that's fantastic, man. In a week, you do that every week, you're a rich man in a year. That's fantastic. Keep it up. Donald Hancock got 3.2 Rs for January, which is amazing. Robert had his first 10R month of his trading career. Congrats, Mr. Falco. That's a huge number to hit. Makes you feel really good when you get there. James says 9 Rs, 4 since joining. So 4 Rs for James, 9 on the month, which is incredible. Kevin Stone got 6 Rs for his first month as an active trader. That's exciting. Niels had 8 put sales expiring worthless. Let me keep scrolling through. I think that might be it. There we go. Thomas got a little bit over 6.1, which is amazing. Brian got 13.65. Fabian with 20 Rs on the month. And Lance got 4.5. So it's incredible. Congrats, folks. Scott said the same here. First 10R month. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Ash, I will message that to you. Give me a second for audio. How do I do that? Give me 6 seconds. Audio settings, phone call. Because I think it's different per room. Okay, I'll send that to you. All right, great. Duarte has made 15R for January. What? Man, you guys all did so. Congrats. Congratulations. And again, I will be honest, there are some of you, if you didn't make money this month, it's okay. Don't be stressed out. It's all right. There are times where things work for others, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. It depends on your trading strategy, right? I know Sharon and Donnie Baldwin did well this month as well. So, you know, if you're out there and you're kind of shy and kind of upset that you didn't make money, it's not a problem. It's all right. There will come a time. Cycles move. They shift. Strategies change, right? But this was a good bullish market. It was good to be a bull. Even though I day traded mostly bearish all month, I still had some really good bullish trading opportunities. So congratulations, my friends. You did phenomenal. I'm really proud of you. January is over. February is a new month. Next month, we got a new challenge. You'll be hearing about that in video format tomorrow. Let's go look at some swing trades that we were already in, talk about some stuff, get everything wrapped up, and rock it out from there. XLE, let me just, we might go a little long today. Let me just go through the list of swing trades that we're in just to make sure everyone is current. So, CenturyLink, CTL, Goddess, 1781. The low of the day was 1757, so it might have just smacked it. Some traders did have a different stop on this one, though. So I was going a little aggressive. I try to do at least one aggressive trade a month just in case. And I figured, hey, this would be one. We might try this one again. Might try it again. Not a problem. That's always the mark of a great trader, is if you don't get emotional, you go, okay, cool, whatever, no worries, and you move on to the next one, right? I'm going to look to see if we can snag that one again. Let's see, when should we look at that? Let's put that on the list for Friday. Friday, we'll put down the list. We'll come back to it. Maybe look something like this and just get a little bit bigger of a risk. Not a problem. We'll just come back to that one. CenturyLink, you got us this time. Next time, we're coming for you. MYO. So MYO doesn't look bad. You got to like that candle. So it had a nice limit buy, good lower shadow, a pretty decent bullish gap this morning, and it also retested the 100 simple moving average. I'm going to give it about another day or two, and then we'll increase the stop to about 401. And if we can make a new high, here's what I will say. If MYO makes a new high by end of day Friday, should work well. Okay. So I'm going to put down the list for Friday just in case. If we can make a new high, I think we were okay on that trade. I said new high as of, let me be clear. Moves higher than Wednesday. Adriano says, it's a stock with low volume, isn't it? No, it's $1 million on average. That's good. I mean, I had 1.35 million shares today, 956,000 on average. So yeah, we're good on that. All is well. All right, so that's MYO. Next on the list I wanted to look at was, let's just go ahead and put Texas Instruments. So Texas Instruments, I did have one trader that said he already got out for a little bit over an R on this trade. You should have gotten triggered exactly at market open on this one. We got lucky, or did we? So the open of today was 250, almost on the nose on Texas Instruments. So that was a 111 February put for 250. It's already trading right now at about 350-ish. Kind of depends. Let me go look at it really quick, actually. 111 for February. Three right now. So it's up 50 cents. So these options, they can move very fast. Towards the end of the day, it was right at about an R for my option traders. However, it doesn't look awful. So I'm going to try to hold out, because if we trade down here, that should be a good 2 to 3 R trade. This will be our target. Right at 2R question mark. And then I'll mention, again, we're going to look at it on Friday. I'm going to write myself a note, since it's a week. It's a pretty aggressive option trade. It expires next week. We can say if we have not hit our target by near end of day Friday, and we are up more than 0.5 R, let's take our profit. It expires next Friday, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's a quick trade. So we have 2 more days just in case the market rolls over. Texas Instruments should help us out. The hourly chart looks pretty decent. It made some lower lows and lower highs. We turn off the extended hours, right? Again, one of the traders did exit down here because it was a support, and I get that. So if you played that little exit right there and you got yourself an R, congratulations. If you didn't, I didn't. I could have, but if I was by myself, I probably would have, only because it's a very strong bullish market. Take them while you can get them for right now. And then if it can continue, we'll just trade something else. Speaking of bullish market, Micron Technology with a gap up this morning, almost like I knew it was going to do it, right off the 100 simple moving average. Really, that was a phenomenal time to buy. I did have a few traders ask me, should you get in long on Micron here? And I said, yes. Very good support, right? All these candles in a row. This is the same price that it kind of did its thing before. We'll see what it does tomorrow. The trade, it's not up very large. We will see MU at the close of market for this particular option. Said about 285. So, about an R-ish on Micron Technology. Luke got 2R. Fantastic. So again, this is one of those things where when I create the plan, folks, you get to determine how you want to play it. You get to kind of figure out what you want to do, what your goal is, what your strategy is. I have a few traders, true story, who don't trade options and don't really know how to trade options. They're not comfortable trading options. And they're like, Jeremy, I have the weekly options newsletter as part of my bundle. What should I do with it? Should I just throw it away or should I not read it? And my analysis is no. I mean, what you would do in that situation is just take the exact setup, but do it with stocks rather than options, right? So use the drawing that I do, and here's your entry and here's your stop, and just go with those numbers. So if that helps you, folks, for those who have the weekly options newsletter, if you don't know how to trade options, it's okay. I'll teach you. There's plenty of days that we're going to learn all kinds of stuff together. But anyway, this is a good gap. Is it going to break out, says Marios? Potentially. If we make a new high, I think we will. This is a morning star, good volume. It has all the signals, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So that is Micron Technology. And then we have WATT, and I believe we got one more. So here's Watt. WATT, and so this was a limit buy. Right, we just want it to get pull back. Carrie says, where's your 2R? If triggered, 2R on Watt is 2667. 2667, which is right about here. So we'll see if we actually get up there. We probably won't. Maybe some cool things will happen. But it's just 2 times your risk. Super easy to calculate. We're going to leave probably this, just leave this alone. Let it do its thing. Pop over here. What? We'll move up that stop on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'll probably increase the stop to about here, and then maybe a week after that, I'll increase the stop to about here, and then hopefully a week after that, I'll put the stop at break even. So, we'll probably be in this trade most of February, see if we can squeak a small gain out of it. And anyway, good job buying on a pullback. All right, and here's the weekly charts. Weekly chart looks good. Okay, no clue if that trade's gonna work. No idea, but let's we can hope, right? And then last but not least is XLNX. So another swing, and that one did trigger today. It's down a little bit post-market, but not a lot. Kind of pretty much gapping down to our target. 4 white candles in a row. Looks good. Here's the 100 simple moving average. We will see it's a pretty wide stop. Again, this is probably going to be a February trade. We'll just see how long it takes if it ever breaks above this little resistance right there. And if it doesn't, we'll just take off a small profit and then figure out what XLNX is going to do from there. But overall, that's pretty much it. And then we have 3D printing. The reason I'm looking at 3D was this was a, oops, let me make this active now. 1885. Go to the credit spread journal. 3D printing is still not filled because I did not get filled on my put sale. Mario says, why is it good if it's a 4 white candles in a row, want to pull back? Probably, but we triggered in today. So today's the fourth white candle. Already in it. So 3D printing didn't trigger the put sale. This expires regular February. If we go lower, it might, but you got a nice little triangle pattern right here, something like that. So if it chops around and breaks lower, this might trigger, but kind of leave it alone and let it do its thing. But that's just 3D printing. Okay, so that's kind of the review of our swings. Let's go see if there's any more. And now just throwing it out there, since there's a full R risk on MYO, full R on Texas, full R on Watt, full on XLNX, and full R on Micron, that's 5 Rs open. So the chances of me placing an official trade today is slim. It's slim. It's very slim. But that's me. If you want to place a trade and you have something open, that's totally fine. I think I missed Overstock today. I don't think I did. I missed it. Overstock, I wanted to play it bearish with this evening star reversal. Beautiful one black crow candle yesterday. Little bit of a support right there. You guys will see that the candles are the exact same low. I wanted to play this little quick bearish move into the 50. And that was pretty much about it. So Overstock, we'll put it on the list for next Monday. Sal says, can you do PBI? I will put PBI on the list for tomorrow. PBI, got it. Okay, next on the list, we got WEC. And WEC, Wisconsin Energy Group, I believe. That is a massive hammer. Wow, look at that volume. I'm not in this trade, but there are some traders somewhere who probably are. This is one, yep, I remember this one vividly. We got some support right here, resistance, support. So yeah, if you're in WEC bullish, there's a few traders who've hopped in. We've traded it before. I've traded it before. I'm not in anything right now on it. Does pay dividends. It's a nice hammer candle. And I don't think there's going to be any put sale or bull put spread premium, but we traded right to the 200. And for those of you who are looking at getting in bullish, this really could be a nice double bottom with a close above there, and that could and likely might work out semi-decently. Mario, this is a good question, man. He goes, do the stocks in the list change every week, i.e. Tech Tuesday has different stocks every Tuesday? Yes, that will change each week. Now, on the side note, you can imagine, Marios, that we're going to be tracking the big names in that sector all the time, right? So it's not like we're just never going to look at Apple just because it's not Tech Giant Tuesday. So you guys run the show. We can look at whatever you want. We just simply like to kind of have a little bit of a theme so you have an idea of, okay, we're going to look at some energies on Energy Wednesday because some traders like trading energy stocks. And Thursday, we'll look at transportation, right? Tesla will probably always be on Thursday, but we can look at it any other day of the week. So, very good question. Richard, let me share this message to you. It was just sent to all panelists. I'm going to send it to everybody so you guys can see what Richard's trading. He said, my opens are Adobe, Canadian Solar, iShares Low Carbon, Honeywell, Marathon, Baidu, Intel Long, and American Airlines and Seattle Genetics, and on a short. All right, some longs and some shorts. I like it, Richard. Very pristine, my brother. So that's WEC. Here's WIN. This one's an interesting one to talk about. WIN down 3%. Steve, what expiration is your bull put spread? Here's a cool story. So Thomas and Robert Falco got into some put sales about 2 or 3 days ago on WIN and have already exited those put sales for almost their full amount of premium. Either yesterday at close or at open this morning. I can't remember. But Steve got March. Thank you, Steve. March. So Niels has some put sales. Matt has one at 162.50. Niels has one down there at 140 for late February. And I'm still waiting to hit the 100. I don't know if it will. It probably won't, not with yesterday's candle. Here's what I will say. Type in a 3 if you like trading WIN semi-often. If you don't, it's all right. Not a big deal. But for the threes, okay, so we got a few threes. Look for a long tomorrow on Win. I'm feeling a long. This is the 15-minute chart, and what we can see is a very nice support. This right here is a phenomenal Morningstar reversal and an entry right above there. So a quick trade and or a short-term spread as well might be playable. Obviously, it depends on how we open and what we do tomorrow. Right, because this is the afternoon, so things can change between now and then. But I like it as a long. That's a really strong candle, and if we close below here on Win, we're going to go a tad lower, going lower, which means for me, because I do want a bull put spread on this one, I will just do a good limit sell and try to get some solid premium. But we close below there, we're going to hit the 100. Maybe we can go a little bit lower, but I'll probably do almost the exact spread that Steve does, maybe even a 135, 130. But either way, on Win, what I expect from here is this is a wave 4, and we're going to start consolidating and chopping around. It's a lot of volume after a very easy wave 1, 2, 3. This is so easy. Look at that count. So we're going to chop around here for a bit. And we're going to just, I think bullish to neutral. Put sales, bull put spread, short-term plays, in and outs on Win. Let it rest for a while, and then we'll end up looking to take it long at some point. GoPro. So GPRO, I had 2 traders request GoPro today, and they asked, is it a Morningstar reversal? Yeah. It is. It's not the perfect one, but it's close. This is not really an indecision candle, but it did have a gap down, and it looks pretty nice. Joe says, do you have special instructions as to which option chain to trade for swing trading, i.e. Win if it plays up? How would you know which options to buy? That's just going to depend on your time frame, Joe. Are you a day trader, right? Or you're a swing trader, or you're a long-term investor? It always depends on time frame. So you answer me that question for what do you want to play, and I'll tell you which ones you might want to look at. Very valid question. You're a swing trader, so you'd probably want to go with front month, February at the absolute earliest, probably March. If you can hold a little bit longer term, you'll be a little bit more of a longer term swing trader, then you can go out, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe even longer. If you really want to plan on holding for 2, 3, 4 months, you buy a leap. But normally just buy one strike price in the money or at the money. So GoPro, for anyone who's looking at playing or requesting GoPro, this is a nice, decent little Morningstar, and my stop would be below the low of this candle. And if this triggered, then I would move my stop up below the low of that white candle. Bob says on options, you can usually get in and out of a given contract several times. Absolutely. Yeah, so with options, it's definitely about controlling your risk because the percentage ROI is a joke. I mean, if you put in $1,000 on an option trade and you can make 20, 30% on that in seconds, minutes, hours, ROI is hilarious when you trade options. It's all about the downside loss. So yeah, that was it's a good way to grow an account quickly is to specialize in option trading. Only find the absolute best. Maybe take 4 trades a month. Put it in heavy on a trade and then have a very tight stop. And if it goes against you, get out. And if it doesn't, try to make 30, 40, 50% return on your $3,000 or $4,000 account or whatever that is, and then get out and look for the next one kind of thing. But yeah, options, they can move. They are quick little animals. So anyway, that's my thoughts on GoPro, just in case for anyone who requested that one. Next on the list, we got SLCA, US Silica Holdings, and it is pulling back. It's a nice little double top. Yeah, so the last time I looked at it, it was trapped in these long-term moving averages, and it was kind of at a resistance anyway. So here was that resistance right there. Boom, shaka, laka. So from here, I would say on the daily chart, if I were going bullish, which I'm not, can't be in everything, But if I was, I would do something like this. This would kind of be the semi-aggressive play with an actual close. If you want to be more aggressive, you buy right here with a stop a little bit lower. So this is your buy zone. Again, if you planned on already trading it, right? If you haven't, you have no idea what it's going to do, then you can watch to see if it's going to bounce off of here. But if you've already planned on that, but that does look like a double top. Close with the neckline, and that's why I personally would want to close above that candle. That's pretty much all I see on SLCA. Next on the list, we got Microsoft. MSFT down small. Very pretty gap. Any guesses on what type of gap this was on Microsoft today? Microsoft and AMD played out pretty similar, but yeah, it was a bullish gap and go. Right above the high of yesterday's candle, and this was a tough one to play. This was, I mean, ironic that it pulled, and again, I did not take this trade, but here's the support resistance, and this was a double bottom, so you could have made a little bit of money in through here, maybe. If you took this trade, you're just my hero. But yeah, just a little bit of a bullish gap and go. Kind of played out like AMD. You would have made some money, but not a lot. Anyway, so we're down very marginally after hours. After hours, 93.50. I would say, my thoughts on Microsoft. If we open below the low of, what's today? Wednesday. I like to spell it like this. Trade into the 10 EMA nice and quick. This is for my day traders. Doesn't mean you have to take that trade, of course. Just means you can if you want to. Feel free to watch it. So that's what we got. John Wheeler wants Norfolk Southern tomorrow, NSC. I can do that. So Microsoft, that would be the only way I would day trade it. So it needs to open below that low. It would trap some people for sure. And then just trade it into the 10. For my swing traders, yeah, just look for a little bit of a pullback into a moving average, like an actual bounce maybe. And we'll see what's going on. RD says, what does it mean to trade into the 10? So if you're day trading, right, this is, I would say this would be a day trade type of setup. So you see that red line? That red line is the 10 EMA, so that would kind of be your target. So you look to short around here and get out right about there. So when you zoom into the 5 minute, you can make some money on that for a day trade, but that would be the target right there, 92.46. Yep, very welcome. Very welcome. Okay, cool. So next on the list, we have Canadian Solar. Had a lot of traders asking about this one recently. Canadian Solar tried its bounce, right? It did have a Morningstar reversal at its support, and this one's going to get close. This one's going to get really close. You had a very nice hammer last week. Add a little bit of a support. It just doesn't look like it wants to bounce. If I had to tell you my true opinion on Canadian Solar, I think we'd trade down lower, just low enough. Then anybody with a stop right there gets trapped, and then it bounces. That's my thoughts on Canadian Solar. There's a few of you who have some, so I'll put it in the chat pane. Hopefully that's not what happens. For those who are in bullish, I hope it just, jumps up to 417 tomorrow. But since that's very unlikely, I think it'll try to make a double bottom and just go just enough to shake out some bulls and then pop. Usually what happens. So not having position in Canadian Solar, had a little bit of a new black crow yesterday. Kind of continued down a little bit today. That was a decent little move on Canadian Solar, and that are my thoughts. Facebook, I think I have Facebook on the list. Let me, if I can move this up. Make this smaller. I don't have Facebook on the list. That's weird. Put Facebook on the list really quick. All right. OXY is not really doing all that much. OXY is just hanging out. Finally pulled back. Yeah, just ran it set into a resistance. I mean, that is classic. Classic. Boop, 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 boop. So if you had OXY, that's where you sold, and congratulations. Next trade, we will wait. Nice little high wave candle. If it breaks this low, probably trades to the 50. Otherwise, I would just wait on it. Mario says, can we have the daily afternoon list to review after the webinar on my own pace as well? Yep. So Marius, I don't know if you got a chance to check in the emails that I send out, but each email does include the list of stocks for the next day as well. Alex, Brian said, do you talk about MYO? We did. Alex says, could you add Dizzy on the list? I will put on the list for tomorrow. DIS, Marathon, Pete, is that MRO, Richard? I can put that on the list for tomorrow as well. I think we are chock full for today. APPN, Appian Corporation. A little bit of a Morningstar reversal, kind of. Not kind of, it really is. I mean, it's on the 50. It's just on a very strong one. Kind of a new white soldier. Again, newer stock. I don't see much on that one, guys. If you're playing it bullish off of the 50 for morning support, I could understand that. I would just want to close above, right? Because I love Morningstar reversals, but if they're smaller in size and the white candle is not as big as the bearish candle, then I usually like to get a close above the bearish candle. Especially if there's no solid trend intact. And I wouldn't say that this chart right here is a very solid trend. It's okay. It's not bad. It's just not like an obvious. Better spot to buy it, better would be back here. All right. Cool. By the way, have you guys all seen the video on how to scan through my videos to find the stocks that you guys want? Have you guys seen that video? Just in case, I'll just bring it up as a reminder because I know that these videos are long, right? Each one's an hour, and you might only care about one stock, so you don't want to go through the entire video to hear everything I say about every stock if you only care about one. I get it. Makes sense to me. So just in case, man, I made all those videos this month. Jeez. I need to stop. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry if I overwhelm you. I got another video coming out tomorrow and another one and another one. Here's the how you can find stocks. It's a really cool video. I suggest checking it out. And it helps a lot. Because really what you do is you go into YouTube and you pull up the, like a translation of what I'm saying, and you can just type in what stocks you care about and they'll help you find it. Just throwing that out there. Always helpful. Okay, APPN, don't see much on that one. Angela says, I can't get to work on my computer. I don't think it's a computer. It's just a YouTube thing. I think you can do it with just about any video. If you go into YouTube, I don't know. Let's pull up Tesla CEO.
I don't know whether it's good for Tesla.
And then you click these little three buttons right here, and it says open transcript, and that's it. I've tried multiple. Maybe a pop-up blocker? I'm not sure, Angela. I'm sorry. I wish I knew the answer, but that's it right there. Just click on that little three-button dot and then open transcript. Mark says, I was unable to get on mine to work too. That's strange. I wonder why that is. Sorry about that. I don't know why that would be. Yeah, I'm not sure. Mark says, win, LOL. Yeah, I have no idea why that's the case. Anyway, I'm at a loss. Maybe some smart computer people will be able to help me out on that one. Okay, cool. Next, we got LNG and then First Solar. LNG, this is one of the energy stocks that I liked a lot back in December. And I do think it's breaking out or has broken out. I don't necessarily think LNG comes all the way back down to 50. It might. If it does, load in. It's a really nice pullback on LNG. Otherwise, right now we just have a slow grind of higher lows and higher highs. Look at that channel. Woo, doggy. Draw the lines and the patterns you will find. It's a nursery rhyme for money. So if the stock pulls back down to 50, awesome. If it doesn't, you can always do some put sales down there for those who like it, and kind of figure it out from there. Mario says EMAs are for longer term and moving averages for shorter term. You're not confused at all, brother. You got it. You recited the exact proper structure. So here's the long-term moving averages, right? Down here, the moving averages. So again, if we pull it down here, that would be a nice little buying spot. We'll see what LNG does. Most energies look like a wait for right now. If you're in longer term, just keep holding through, pull back. First Solar, chilling. We looked at it yesterday, had a high wave candle, didn't know if it was going to gap or not. I'm still going to watch this tomorrow, just in case. I just like high wave candles, and all I'm looking for is if this can break down. This is going to be a day trade for me if I trade it, because right now I got 5 R's of risk on the table, and I got to remove some of that risk before I can do anything. And start increasing some stops or locking in profits or something. So First Solar, that would be a quick day trade below that level. Not necessarily with that stop, but if it breaks down, I'll be keeping an eye on it. Other than that, if you got some, Bill, what's your covered call for First Solar? Or your put sale or whatever you got. But look at that resistance. I mean, that is just a rock. That is a rock. Let me see if Tim Walbridge is here. Tim Walbridge, Tim. Tremaine's in the building. What's up, Tremaine? What's going on, bro? Stephen King is here. Sean, Sophia, Rajuta, but no Tim Walbridge. February 2nd, 72.50. Dang, brother. This Friday. Your machine. Okay. Bill with another covered call. 72.50. 2-2. Jeffrey says, where do I get the Zoom code for the afternoon and morning rooms? You're in the afternoon room right now, my man. You were here. But you can email me. They also got sent out Sunday. You can email Ashley. Just get at me. Whatever I can do to help. I will lay my favorite jacket over a puddle of mud for you, bro. Whatever you need. First Solar. Not much happening. He says, yes, I am in now, but I need the code for mobile. Like the phone number code? Is that what you mean? Room ID? It should be, if you're in now, you click on your audio options, and it will give you the meeting ID number. Yeah, or something like that. But anyway, just let me know, man. I'll get at you. Mark says the Zoom app uses the same code as a PC version. Ah, okay. I see what you're asking, Jay. I got you, bro. How was work? How's the fam? How's life? So XEL, have a trader or two in this trade. We're looking at kind of a little bit of a longer term move. So on XEL, Angela, I think it's adequate to move up the stop to 44.70. Justin says it's a big game this weekend. Shoot, I'm going to do a poll tomorrow. Going to do a poll, see what you guys are thinking about. XEL, move, stop. Jeffrey says, don't do a poll, Pats will win. I mean, it's hard to disagree with you. I think Big Brady gets his number 6. So XEL, that is a morning star of the ages right there. Here's the weekly chart. If you like this trend, this stock, a little bit of a utility longer term, we got very close to the 100 last time, kind of double bottomed. Adriano's in XEL. Nice job, brother. So potentially your stop might be below the 100 simple on a weekly, which is about maybe 44, 43. James is also in it. Okay, so again, there's a few of you. So shorter term, I'd probably have my stop at 44.70, and we'll see if it double bottoms and hopefully kind of continues. But this is a great candle to get. All right, so Facebook is doing stuff after hours. Oh, up to 194. What? Good night. Good Googa Mooga. Facebook's doing the exact same thing AMD did today. I knew that was going to happen. When you watch my free stock review, I had some people request Facebook. It was exactly, oh, geez. Robert says, Zuckerberg got on the mic and it rallied. Of course. Of course. The Zucks. It's a strong gap. If it opens up in there, it'll probably gap up and fade, but there's a lot of you who are in bullish on Facebook with all kinds of things, put sales, stocks, all that jazz. So anyway, Facebook, we'll watch it tomorrow, but that's a bullish gap. It is. It probably does a little bit about what AMD does. The best thing I can say for those who are watching it, if you played AMD or watched AMD today, it's probably what Facebook's going to do. So go to AMD. For the day traders. For the day traders, I should say. For my swing traders, I mean, cool. I think Facebook's a good long. I told you it's going to hit 200 this year. I've mentioned it like 100 times. It'll keep going higher. Drake closes put sale. Congrats, my friend. Well done. Adriano is still in AMD. Almost closed it yesterday, but I had to remind him to follow his plan, Adriano. Testing me, making sure I was listening. I hear you over there, brother. Following my plan. That's exactly right. So at this point, for those who are in AMD, I think it would be a travesty not to at least take your stop up to 1227. Here's your weekly charts and lock in some profit. And by the end of the week, you could probably take the 1265. Next stop, 14.5. James, it's February. Early February R's. You got it, man. Some people will make some R's tomorrow. IPI. IPI, nothing. Have a little bit of a hammer candle. Here's your double bottom. Neckline, hammer candle was yesterday. You're right on the 100 though, so you probably want to close. Whoever requested IPI, I would say get in with a close above the high of today with a stop below this hammer. Would be a short-term swing. Other than that, it's pretty sideways for the, well, I shouldn't say sideways. It's going higher. Yeah, I'd like to pull back a little bit, maybe to 340 on IPI. Intrepid Potash. Yep, not much on that one. Buy low, sell high. Next on the list, Parsley Energy. I think this is from my buddy Ray. What you got on this one, Ray? This thing slipped out of the tub when it was getting out. That's what Parsley Energy did. Parsley Energy put too much cayenne pepper in the chicken broth. What a monster. Look at that gap. Go back to the weekly. How low is that going to go? So you got support there. I already broke through there. This is the IPO level. One of two things. This would make the most sense to me. Support resistance here, or this and this, or this and this. I know it sounds like, it's not much information, Newsom. I mean, I think it's going to go a little bit lower before it bounces. It's kind of what I'm getting at. The question is how low? I don't know. I don't have any position in PE. We've been tracking this one pretty often. I know Ray likes trading it. Probably made some money on those drop downs. So yeah, I think we're going to go a little bit lower. If you want to trade something aggressive, you could probably hop into the hourly chart and try to bounce, try to play the bounce off of support because it is coming into a support. Ray was saying nothing now but thinking of buying some. See, Ray's already looking at buying low. What a champion. So yeah, it's down here, My thought process would be maybe try to add a little bit here, a little bit more here, and then a lot more if it gets back down to 20. Kind of be my play on it. Test the water with one tippy toe at a time. I might go long today. I think I might be able to get it all done in 10 minutes. ETP is not doing anything. This is what Mr. Squiggle said it was going to do, and that's exactly what it is doing, almost to the day and penny. Pretty shocking, but looks good. So a little bit of a new white soldier today. If I were to hide this drawing here for a moment, this is an inside day candle. And if anybody wanted to play ETP bullish, short term, maybe a day trade, or maybe you want to add some shares, you could do so above the high of today's candle. Looks pretty cute, if I do say so myself. But overall, based on the weekly chart, I think ETP will just kind of keep chopping around here for a little bit longer and then eventually go higher. EEM, what is EEM doing? Emerging index, wowzers. Yeah, I would look to buy that one on a pullback. Yeah. So you got all kinds of highs up here, 56, but that is a straight up move. I wouldn't buy it yet. See if I can get in a little bit lower. James asked about VRTX. I'm going to throw VRTX on the list for tomorrow. VRTX. So EEM, buy on a pullback, nothing here. TEVA. Nothing. Next, BIIB. It could double top actually on TEVA. I'll come back to it in a second. BIIB, good trend. Deepak did really well on this one. It was a nice breakout. So you can see this weekly chart. The weekly, you had a breakout and kind of like a double pullback kind of thing, and then a continuation higher. This will probably be another pullback, and then again, buy low, sell high. The trend, though, does look nice. Here's your exponential moving averages. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot for BIIB presently. I'd be more in the bull put spread, put sale, or longer term share ownership camp if we were to pull back. Let me just hop back over to EVA really quick just to make sure. I will throw this caveat out there. If you're looking at playing TEVA, if we close below the low of $20 tomorrow and or the next day, that'd probably be a little bit of a short bearish move. It would trade right down to the 50, where it would probably get bought again. So that could be a day trade, but that's not enough meat on the bones for me to put that turkey in the oven. Next on the list is CVO. Commercial printing. I was looking at this one the other day. I remember someone mentioning it. You are getting some cool volume spikes. I'll put it on the list again on Friday. I don't think we do anything between now and then. So I would look to get in bullish if you were requesting CVO above the high of the last 3 days and take it as a breakout. $1.70. Otherwise, leave it alone. We'll come back one last effort, check out on Friday, and then if it doesn't break out by then, I'll move on. Salesforce, chugging along. Chugging straight along. I don't even know what to say about Salesforce. I mean, you have all-time high, new white soldier, both have some upper shadows, kind of a morning star type of pattern, but it's not at support. This was the time to get in on Salesforce. I didn't take that trade. That's the one white soldier candle off of the 50. I mean, that was January, right? That pretty much sums up January in a nutshell. Buy on day one. So on Salesforce from here, let it keep chopping around. And then if it can break out after more of a rest, should look good. But the trend on that one, I think you can take this line and now put it right there. And that's the next support resistance on Salesforce. That's VCF. I meant VFC. VFC. Apparel and accessories. Also very high. A retail stock that has rallied like a legend. I wouldn't buy it right here personally. Old resistance at 76. That's the spot to buy the dip on VFC. Probably a little bit more of a longer term play. ACB on the TSX. This one's going to be tough and fun to trade. I've been mentioning to a few traders, I think a trade down to the 50 would be better. Hasn't actually hit the 50 in a while. It will probably continue to consolidate up here. Right, this is, if anything goes up, as we know from Bitcoin, if anything goes up 500% in 2 months, there's probably going to be a consolidation, right? If you ever want to know how long to wait for a pullback, go to the right of the chart and figure out how far it's gone and how quickly, and ask, am I missing the boat? Right, so buy low. All of those white candles in a row, beautiful pullback, another opportunity. So this is probably going to be a consolidation of some kind and likely breaks down. Maybe it breaks higher at some point, obviously, but it probably does almost exactly that. So whoever requested ACB, take a screenshot of that, and we're done. Next on the list, NXTTF. I think this is from my girl, Francoise. Namaste. That's nice. Healthcare looks a little on the weak side. Again, strong move. Yep, this is my girl. So I would say resistance, that's the buy spot right there, that $2. That's where you leg in initially, a little bit of something there and a little bit of something there. Now back to the daily chart. Yep, 50 EMA is right at $1.80. Is it going to get down there? Maybe. If you want to take a position right here, there is a support. You could take a very small one, and then again just add in as you get down a little bit closer and make that magic David Copperfield style. Schlumberger, not really doing all that much. Schlumberger, we talked about this one 2 days ago, and I mentioned just keep an eye on it for it to continue lower. And the reason, like I mentioned before, is when you have a bullish candle like this that does not hold as a support. I mean, this thing just got crushed. If it doesn't hold as a support, look to play the downside. And that's exactly what's happening on Schlumberger. You just got some energies that are pulling back, right? Energies had a really solid move. Pullback makes sense. SLB probably continues lower. Again, some of you might remember I talked about this one on Monday and said, hey, keep an eye on this one to continue lower. Maybe you can even day trade it. Had it on my list. Don't know if you got a chance to day trade. If you didn't, no big deal. But bottom line, I'm writing it down again. Thursday morning, SLB. A little bit of edge to it. Could retest maybe on a Friday morning, but I think that's going to go lower. Rig, I was looking at this one with a trader, and he was looking at buying this one off of the support resistance right about here. So you got the candle that you wanted. I would say the entry would be right above the high of this candle, and the stop would be right below the low of that candle. It's a very nice setup. We are gapping up a little bit after hours. After hours. Here's the long-term moving average, almost there. So if you're a little bit more of a conservative trader, and you know who you are, you put your stop down here. If it pops, and then move it up to there to guarantee that you lose less than an R. Well, shouldn't say guarantee, but more or less. And here's the weekly chart. In the weekly chart, you're right on the 100. So if it's going to bounce, this is where. Otherwise, it won't. We've already looked at CenturyLink and MYO. Yeah, I'm going to go a little long today. Shopify. SHOP, Shopify, nailed it. Nailed it. It pulled back. That was a one-day pullback, and we went higher. So if you got a chance to buy on this pullback, that wave 4 action came right down to the 10. That's the opportunity to buy the dip. It was also previous all-time high, old resistance, new support. Boom, right there. Boom, shakalaka. This is also a setup, very effective setup that we did in the free week, talking about what is the bounce. And that was the bounce was right here on the 23rd of January. So Anyway, Shopify trend is bullish. I think Matt DeLong has closed out of his Shopify put sales. I know, Ash, you still got some put sales. Keep them. Buy the dip on Shopify. Trend is bullish. Doesn't get more bullish than that. Next on the list, VFF, Village Farms. Interesting trend. Yeah, interesting. I would like it up to 50, honestly. Is it going to come down there? Maybe not. If it makes a higher high tomorrow and it gets above this shaved top candle and you want to add a little bit of position, you're more than welcome to. But this is a lower high, higher low, probably chops around, probably breaks down, and then gives you a buying opportunity off the 50. That's how I would trade Village Farms International, personally. A little bit of a lighter volume stock, but it can work out. ONEX. I think I just need to spread these out a little bit farther, spread them out over some more days. Onyx Corporation. Onyx. Again, this is on the TSX. I have a lot of Canadians. You guys are welcome to request stocks on the TSX. That's totally fine. Good pullback to the 100 simple on the weekly. That is a big deal. Really good support down there. This is an inside week, but you got the hammer. So if you want it to break higher, I would probably look for it to break higher and then buy the dip, so pretty much where it's at now, and then set the stop under these candles. So let it break out, then buy the pullback to make sure like it's doing it with good volume. I like this volume, and it's a good longer term spot if you're picking up some. I mean, it's at that 100. Marios. Oh man, I don't know that language. That is cool that you could type it in though. I have no clue how you did that. Adobe. Trend is bullish. I think Richard said he was in bullish. Looks nice. Mario says hammer isn't a sign of a trend reversal. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's why I mentioned let it break out and then buy the pullback and be bullish. A Greek keyboard. Hey, no worries, man. That's awesome. I was like, oh, that looks like it's Greek. I don't speak Greek, but you do because you're awesome. James is in Adobe. I can't argue that trend, my man. I like the candle. Looks good. If I had to make the argument, and I'm about to, 1, 2, 3, some kind of a wave, 4, 5. Is this wave 4 done? Maybe. But if it breaks below the low of this, tomorrow or something, the wave 4 is going to last a little bit longer and then continue higher. So the cool part is you got your line in the sand, and it's at about 194. Next on the list, I like Southwest right here. I'm a fan. A little bit of Morningstar. Ash has got some calls. JJ has got his sold February calls up there at 70. And ladies and gentlemen, it pulled back. This one pulled back to that double bottom neckline. Robert Falco didn't buy because he's a giant chicken. Here's your support resistance right there. Boom, shaka, laka. Anyway, I mean that would be the spot if you're looking at buying long. That would be it. I love Southwest. I fly them. I'd rather be an owner rather than just a buyer. Sharon got some today. Thomas did some put sales. Earnings are over, so that's nice. You got a Morningstar reversal pattern. So, I mean, my overall thought process is it could trade down to the 100, sure. But if it broke higher, I would just say it would probably continue up. So if you did buy down here, congrats. We'll put it back on the list. Obviously Thursday for Transportation Thursday, we'll look at some Southwest again and just see what she's doing from there. These were kind of last requests. QNC on the TSX. I don't know if this is right. It probably isn't. Let me type that in again. I could have mistyped something. Quantum numbers. Very choppy, pretty much a penny stock. I would just stay away from that one altogether. Next on the list, we got Edenbridge. I got a lot of traders up there in the TSX trading this one. Mario's, yes, it's Only on TradingView. You can't, unless I publish the chart, you won't be able to see the actual setup. Yep. So here's the weekly chart on EMB. Now this one's experiencing some troubles, but if you come out here to a monthly chart, I'm just crazy enough to say I think this might be the spot where we bounce. This might be it. So we're trading down into a level on Edenbridge. Again, this is on the TSX. Now, if this thing starts breaking down, you want to have some protection for sure, because you never know. You never know. But over here on the daily, you have a bunch of bearish candles in a row. You're coming down to some support. You could have an entry where you consider hopping in some if it breaks higher. Add a little bit there. Add a little bit here. Add a little bit here. Add a little bit here, and then have a stop down here somewhere so that, you know, do something like this maybe. But at this particular price, I'd probably start considering a long position, yeah. 43.92 is the 100 simple on a weekly, and that is the big kahuna. That is a strong support. Leaf, what a cool ticker. Brand new. Brand new. Chop City looks like a crypto. I think this one might pull back a little bit farther. Trend is still pretty brand new. I think I said that 9 times. Sorry. Here's the distribution, right? Public participation. This works on all stuff. There's your breakout, entry above the black candle, stop below. That's why I tried to do on CenturyLink. It just didn't work. Yeah, I'd wait for it to pull down to about 16 and some change. Looking okay. I think I'm going to wait on Leaf. BCE also, and this is the last one of the day, so just a little long. Integrated Communications. This is one I think Roy Goldberger was looking at. Strong resistance at 57. So Roy and Marios, there's your hammer candle, buddy. You could have an entry above the high of yesterday's candle. It'd be one spot. And I would probably have my stop, a conservative stop would go at 56. 56 with some entries right around pretty much here. And this is on the weekly chart, and let that 200 slowly press it up. So yeah, I'd have my stop down here at 56 and let it keep climbing higher. There we go. So that is Energy Wednesday. I already have the list for tomorrow. So let me just start jotting those down. And when I'm finished, I'll figure out how much time we have left. LFIN, FireEye, LAD, KBH, NVS, Google, Apple, VMW, Facebook, PBI, NSC, Disney, MRO, VRTX, South PETS, LUV, DAL, Tesla, AAL, Delta, and I think I got room for some more. What else you got? BABA, eBay. Thanks for waiting, guys. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. It's easy to get overwhelmed. I'm a slow typer. Twitter, MasterCard, can do. That'd be a good list for tomorrow. Delta's in there twice. It sure is. Good call. Let's replace that with Johnson & Johnson. And I think that's about it. VUZI, sure. Team, BBY, there they come. You guys just want to think about it. LRCX, Procter & Gamble. All right. There we go. Tomorrow, you and I, again, same time, same place. And until then, remember, love, life, live, hard, trade. You guys rock. Bye.